Are you a waiting artist or a procrastinator? I'm going to help you figure out which one you are, and the reason why you want to know the difference is just to identify where you are, because once you know where you are, it's a lot easier to see what you need to do next to move forward. It's like eliminating some confusion and getting clarity so you can get down to work and start doing the right things, the next things that you need to do to start seeing the results that you want to see. So when I mentioned this topic in my last video, and when I originally had it in mind, the draft title that I wrote down was In Defense of Procrastination. And this is why we love drafts as writers, because as I was looking at that and I was looking to refine it, I realized that's not what I wanted to talk about. That isn't what I was doing. I'm not defending procrastination, but at the same time, I'm not saying that procrastination is the bad option of these two or that there's anything wrong with procrastinating. It really is just figuring out what's going on with you, like where you're really at, so that you can figure out what to do. So procrastinating here isn't bad, and the art of waiting, being a waiting artist, isn't necessarily good. They're just different. And it's really easy to tell, actually, which one you are or which stage you're at. And we fluctuate through both of these. Sometimes we're procrastinating, sometimes we're practicing the art of waiting, and sometimes we're doing both at the same time. So yeah, I just want to emphasize that this isn't like a criticism the way it should be video. Of course you don't think I'm criticizing you, but I just wanted to make that clear because it's really just fascinating and interesting to me. And I'm just going to give examples of how I've experienced both of these. And the most relevant example is all of the time it took before I started this YouTube channel. And so when you're practicing the art of waiting, because I am calling that the art of waiting before I actually started doing the work that would eventually become this channel. So the art of waiting is when you have an idea, but your vision isn't that clear yet. And sometimes it can be really dangerous when we move forward, when our ideas aren't really fully formed. I have an article on Copyblogger about why good ideas are a real threat to good writing, and that will be one of the links in the description box below of this video. And so it's not good to move forward with unfully formed ideas. So the art of waiting really nurtures that idea, and you really are just more relaxed about moving forward with your idea, and you're proactively and passively doing the research that you need to eventually get to the point where you do have a fully formed idea and you do have a plan to move forward. So I started watching YouTube regularly probably in about like 2015 or 2016, when it really became like, oh, this is almost like a substitute for television for me. I hadn't had television for a while, but I started looking at what people were doing on YouTube, and there were just so many different types of videos that I liked watching, but I never thought I would start a channel at that point. It wasn't even on my radar as something that I could incorporate into my schedule, or even that I wanted to do. Really, where I was in that art of waiting stage was really just consuming. But the more I consumed over the years, I would say probably within the past maybe year and a half, my feelings towards YouTube started changing. And after watching so many different types of people and so many different types of videos, I think there was some part of me that really just started thinking about what I could do. But again, I never moved forward with it. But it wasn't procrastinating, because it was more just the idea was marinating in my head. And the obstacle or the challenge at that time was, I was like, how am I going to do that? I couldn't see myself incorporating it into my schedule. I couldn't see, how I was going to do it. And I'm actually, everything that I was doing during that art of waiting time is actually going to be another video, because that is really a research phase, again, actively and passively, when you're doing this art of waiting. So that's going to be another video coming up, and it's a big part of your own writing journey in a way. Like, timing and the art of waiting is something that I'm really interested in. So I'm going to get into more of what that actually looked like in the future. But then, so it was it was swirling around in my head. I didn't know how I was going to do it, a few years into consuming YouTube content. And then this year, I was working on something completely different. And then all of a sudden, all of my ideas came together. And I saw exactly how I was going to do the channel, the schedule, what I was going to talk about, how it was going to look. It all came together in that moment. And the moment is pivotal. So I'm going to let you think about it for a second while I take a sip of tea. In that moment, when my vision became clear of what I wanted to do, if I didn't start acting on it from that moment, the art of waiting would have, in a split second, turned into procrastinating. Because once I knew exactly what I wanted to do and how I could do it, if I would just put it off, then it would no longer be the art of waiting. It would be procrastinating. And why do we put things off after we have a clear vision? This is where you can really start thinking about it for your own situation. If we know exactly what we need to do, what we want to do, what will push us forward, but we don't do it, think about the fears that are holding you back and the distractions. Fears and distractions are what turn the art of waiting into procrastinating. So if I had let those factors keep me from moving forward, all of a sudden, all this years of the art of waiting would have turned into procrastinating. So I started moving forward, and there's going to be another video in the future that I want you to use to incorporate an idea that you're thinking about. I just covered my eyes too. I didn't mean to do that. I was just fixing my glasses. Sorry. But there's going to be sort of a homework assignment in an upcoming video. Did I say post? I say post a lot for work. So if I called a video a post, you know what I mean. And so, so there's going to be a video where I kind of outline for you what you can start doing when that vision becomes clear and you want to move forward with it. So I ended up doing that. And then a couple months after I had that clear picture of what I wanted this channel to be is when I started posting, I guess you could say posting with videos, uploading the videos regularly. But let me tell you, the fear is still there in the beginning. And you really have to push through it, because in my first couple of videos, I don't particularly like watching, but this is the beauty of practice, because so many insecurities came up when I first started posting. I was like, I'm a bad performer. I think I'm funny. No one else is going to think I'm funny. Nobody's going to watch this. Why am I doing this? All of that stuff is real. It does not go away just because you start doing something. But the more I practice, the more I really just feel like, one thing is I stopped comparing myself to other people. I started looking at other, performers and things like, I'm not a good actress. Does anyone want to see me on camera? I really kind of went on, it wasn't a huge spiral, but I was, after I posted my first 3 videos, you don't expect this as much, because you think, I pushed through the fear and I started filming. And then it just sort of hit you. And I was guilty of what I would tell other people not to do, is of just comparing myself and feeling insecure about it. But I don't care about those things anymore. And that's only because I've practiced and that I kept filming. So there's something to be said about just moving forward. Anyway, so what do you think? T-sip. So what do you think about where you're at right now? Are you practicing the art of waiting, or are you a procrastinator? I can tell you something I'm procrastinating about right now. I originally got, a while ago, even before I mentioned my last video, I had an idea about doing a video about procrastinating after my colleague and friend Kelton Reed wrote an article on Copyblogger called Why Procrastination Might Not Be as Bad as You Think. And we started talking about some ideas that he and I had after he wrote that article. That will be linked in the description box as well. And so I've been procrastinating about, we've been meaning to set up a time for me to go on his podcast called The Writer Files, where I would do a long extended interview. If you want to hear me talk way more about writing, I've been on it before, but we thought, it'd be fun to do another one this year, because I believe it was last year, the last time we recorded. So I've been procrastinating on that, but now that I have a video on this topic, I'm going to send it to him, and it will move us forward with actually setting up a time to do that. And then after it's recorded and after the podcast there'll probably be 2 episodes that they're published. I'll announce them here and link them in a video as well. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm going to move forward on something I've been procrastinating on, because again, the example here is I knew exactly what I need to do, but I'm just not doing it. It's not that I'm waiting and researching and waiting for the right time and waiting for the right circumstances, because I didn't want to do it in a wrong way. Like I said, trust your gut in the last video, which is, kind of cliche, and I don't love saying that. But at the same time, the art of waiting is about timing, and it's about, I need to learn more. I need to research more. I need to consume more. I didn't even watch a lot. I mean, the subject that I've watched the least amount on YouTube are other writing advice videos. I just watch so many different genres. Obviously, like, I watch spiritual channels, and I like comedy channels, and there are just so many. I watched makeup videos because I thought they were relaxing. I watched those for a really long time. Just people putting on makeup, like things that are big on YouTube. But I needed all of that time to consume and study. So that's when I revisit the art of waiting in another video, is about like what you actually do in that time when you're studying as you consume, and how that helps you with success when you are ready to take action. So think about which one you are. No judgment, but it will help you move forward if you figure out where you are today. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, welcome. Click that red subscribe button below the video. Tap that bell, because you'll get a note every time I publish a new video on Wednesdays. So I will see you next week.